Hey, everybody! Woo! Hey! Welcome to Barsha Barsha Barsha. We're just waiting till we get all our people in. Yay! I've invited my wonderful guest up to the stage. Hello, Martha. Hello, Woody. Hello, Sheila. I'm going to invite you to video. Please, please, please share with your friends. Share with your friends. All you do is hit the two little lines on the lower left, and you can share with the world. Like we all are doing right now. Woo! This is like Waitbot mute on crack. Unbelievable. There's my mom, Martha Barsha. Welcome to the show. There's Charlotte. Woohoo! We got a lot of people here. We're gonna start in a minute. Wow, it's a little rainy here, but we see people faithfully here. Faithfully here. Here we go. I'm gonna mute my Waitbot. Hi, everybody. Welcome, welcome, welcome. We are here today on July 18th, 2022 with a beautiful guest that I'm inviting on the stage right now because I'd like to sing a song to her. Sheila, if you're getting my invitation, you can come on up on stage. I'm inviting you to video. And all you have to do is hit the invitation and accept it. Woohoo! All right. While Sheila is figuring that out, Sheila, if you hit the little... There she is!
Yay!
All right. I would like to sing my opening song for you. I would like to sing... Sheila, you're a little bit frozen, and I have no idea why. Yeah. So maybe what you should do is hit the two little lines on the bottom left and leave the stage, the top one, and then I'll invite you back up. So everybody, this is what happens with live stuff, right? Live stuff. All right, I will sing Sheila the song, and I know she's listening from down there in the audience, and I'll just keep inviting her to video and see what is going on, and she'll accept it. All right. Where do you go? That's it, Sheila. On Monday, when you want to have fun, where can you go? On Monday, when your day is done. Well, Fireside Chat is where it's at. Our guests are all the best. She's got a lot of heart. She's really smart. She's got a lot to say. Welcome, Sheila Rae. Join me in welcoming Sheila Rae. Okay.
That was Sheila, great.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. That was written by, believe it or not, Mary Claire Heron, and I wrote the melody, and then I kept subbing in people's stuff. Welcome to Barsha Barsha Barsha. Boy, I am so excited to have Sheila Rae on the show. This is a long, illustrious career. Wait until you hear what this person has done and continues to do. So let me give you a proper introduction. How can I put this? Dancer, singer, composer, lyricist, book writer, and producer. in some cases along the line. This is a person who I have collaborated with, which we'll talk about later, and has been given numerous Lifetime Achievement Awards, let me just say. Okay. So I want to, with you, Sheila, because it's been such a long, amazing career, I really want to find out as a child where your passion was first. What came first?
Well, I guess I was a dancer first, and that was my passion. And I really wanted to be a ballerina. And I had the most wonderful training in Chicago with a woman named Edna McCrae, who was famous in Chicago. And in fact, any road shows or ballet companies that would come to town, all of these ballerinas would be in my class, you know, Violetta Verdi and Patty McBride. And I mean, just the most brilliant of the brilliant, Kay Mazo, all these city ballet dancers. And actually, because Balanchine started in Chicago, the company, when he was married to Maria Tallchief, because she was from Chicago too.
Right.
So that very first Nutcracker in 1950, I think it was 3, was in Chicago. So I was already dancing, you know, when I was a kid. And I made my stage debut, I might have been about 9, as a
9, where?
toe dancing, singing toy in Babes in Toyland.
Okay.
For the Chicago Park District Opera Group.
That is so beautiful. Okay. Babes in Toyland at 9 years old, everybody.
So at the end, we're all singing, "Hail to Toyland, lovely." And they said that the toys could sing too. And so I started singing, "Hail to Toyland." And the conductor like looks over and he goes like this, because I was like louder than the entire company.
I love it. This is the great Sheila Rae that I am. So, okay, so now you're dancing. Then you discover, or everybody discovers, oh, she sings too, right?
Right.
So now, what happens? Do you go to high school? Do you start joining all the, what happens in like middle school, high school? What's going on?
Yes, but you know, I mean, my parents and actually Miss McCrae as well, made sure that we had music lessons. So all my sisters, I have 3 sisters like you do.
Like me.
And all my sisters and I, we all took music lessons. So I took piano lessons. I played the violin as a kid too, in the school orchestra. And then when I got into high school, I was in like all the school shows, you know, I was doing the parts in all the school shows.
Wow.
And,
now we know that dancing in school shows is not like being a ballerina.
No, right. Of course not.
So go ahead.
But, you know, I went to New Trier, which is famous for these high school productions.
Wait.
Even then.
You know that's my show was set in...
I know it was.
I used the New Trier high school theme in one of the shows I wrote, never knowing that that's the high school that Sheila went to. That is like... Okay. So keep going. So you're in high school. What happens?
So I'm in high school and I'm doing these shows. And in the summer, I'm going to ballet every day. And then I graduate high school, and my first real equity company job was in 1963. Oh my God. Doing Chicago's Highland Park Tent House. And Herb Rogers, who was the producer of Tent House at the time, hired me. I was in the ensemble. I had a few parts. We did Flower Drum Song that summer, High Button Shoes, and Oklahoma. And that production of Oklahoma was directed by Gordon Davidson, who then
my God.
Yeah.
Those of you who don't know, wasn't he like the head also of what was it, the Amundsen or something else?
Yes, he ran, you know, the Los Angeles Center for Theater there at the Amundsen. And this was his first musical that he had ever directed. Wow. And we all knew he was going to be something very special.
That is, see, this is what's unbelievable. Okay, so now here you are. You're doing all these things in Chicago.
Boy, my God.
See, everybody's excited. Go ahead.
So I'm doing this incredible summer stock experience.
Yes.
And the choreographer was a guy who, I don't know if you know this guy, Deborah, or not. He became an associate conductor at the Met, but he was a choreographer, but he played the piano like nobody's business. Gildo D'Annunzio. Did you ever know
No,
Gildo?
but what a great name.
He's still there. He's still with the Metropolitan Opera, coaching and conducting, stepping in if need be. I mean, he's the most amazing man. And he was this guy that I got to work with. Also in that company was a guy named Sammy Bass, who then became Jerry Robbins' assistant on Fiddler on the Roof. And so when I graduated college and moved to New York.
You got to stop at Fiddler on the Roof. Finish your sentence, but then we're going to go right there. You finished college, went to New York. Go ahead.
Finished college, went to New York, but I had also every summer been doing summer stock. So I did a tour of The Sound of Music. I did a couple of interesting things in college while I was, traveling with these different companies. And
let me ask you, wait, what is going on with your sisters at this time? Are they like watching you soar?
Well, they're doing their thing too. I mean, I have two sisters who became choreographers, interestingly enough, and one sister who became a dance history professor who specializes in court dances. And, if you're having, if you're doing a movie and you've got Louis XIV, dances in it, she's the person you call. Also, she does cotillions, she does debuts, because these kids have to learn how to dance for these things.
And they have to be authentic. You're right.
That's right. And so, she'll choreograph those things. I mean, she's pretty amazing. My sister, Debbie. Anyway.
Okay, can I jump to this fiddler thing? Because we have, I could fill up an hour with things that you've done just, in your, okay. Now, when I met Sheila, the first story she tells me is that she was in the original Fiddler on the Roof. Now, can we please, on Broadway. Now, in that cast of Fiddler on the Roof on Broadway was then a kind of known person. Who was it?
Bette Midler.
Thank you.
She was not a known person. I mean, she was just beginning to happen. And
she played Seidel. Did she play Seidel?
She played Seidel, and she was wonderful.
I played that in high school.
I bet you were a great Seidel.
I was.
Really great.
So here's Bette Midler. Are you in the ensemble dancing around and singing and doing everything? What are you doing in Fiddler on the Roof?
I am in the ensemble, and I am understudying Chava, which was a role originated by Tanya Everett. Tanya and her brother Timmy were sort of New York actors. She was beautiful in the part, but she was a little loopy too. She was wonderful though. And it was kind of fun to understudy her because I never knew when I was going to go on, and I went on a lot. So Deborah, where are you? I lost you. You lost power?
We lost power!
I kept saying, Deborah, hello, are you there?
This is unbelievable. Wait a minute. Did you talk about Bette Midler?
I didn't talk about anything. I kept saying, hello, Deborah, are you there? I was trying to find you because your picture was
we
gone.
Lost
everything.
Power. As Sheila knows, sometimes this happens. We lose power. Kim is setting up a generator, but while we're here, I'll just talk to you here without the microphone. Listen, this is show business. And look, all these people want it. You guys are the best. Thank you for staying.
Oh my gosh, this is incredible.
All right.
So Bette was in Fiddler with me. And at that time, there was a show on Saturday afternoons on CBS called CBS Callback. It was like a talent variety show. And I auditioned to be on this show. And there was a guy who was the musical director of this show by the name of Barry Manilow. And Barry and I really...
Wait! Okay, go ahead.
So I get on the show, and Barry and I become fast friends. And so he starts playing all my auditions for me and coaching me on what to sing and all of this stuff. And at that time, the Continental Baths was the place for all young singers to perform. And
That's right.
if you were a girl singer with charts, which I was, I was up doing the Catskills, and I was, on off nights from Fiddler. I was singing all around in these clubs. And so Barry played for me for my audition at the Continental Baths. And Bet had become sort of the house performer there. And Billy Cunningham, who was the musical director there, was leaving with me to go do a review in Detroit. And so Barry got the job as the house pianist there. And that's how Bet and Barry met. It's so crazy, so incestuous, so bizarre. But
so, in other words, you're responsible for Barry Manilow and Bet playing music together, is what you're trying to tell me.
Yeah, in a way.
Kind of.
I really am. I mean, they make their own decisions.
Okay.
But
right.
But I mean, Bet was such a stellar talent. She was so unusual, and she knew exactly what she wanted to do. And, Barry was just like all of us. We were just like mesmerized by her, because what she was doing in Fiddler and what she had learned at the Actors Studio and what she was doing as Bette Midler were two entirely different kinds of things. It wasn't until later, when she became a film star and really used her acting talent, that you could see all of the incredible versatility that she had.
Okay, this is what is called.
I see you got your lights back.
I am back. I got my lights back, but we still don't have the Wi-Fi back yet, so I'm still on my personal hotspot.
Oh my gosh!
See how quickly I had to do all that?
Oh my God!
I did that very quickly.
That's
incredible. So here you are. Now you become. Can we just? Because I want to keep going forward, even if the lights. My incredible housewife Kim just hooked up a generator and quickly turned everything back on. I want to just say that when do you start writing? Because you were
it was just about at that time, just about in 1970. I had a manager who said to me, Sheila, if you want to get a record deal, you got to write some songs. And I said, well, okay, I think I can do that. And because I played the piano, I was a musician. I played the violin. I was a pretty good singer. So I began writing songs in 1970, and I must have written between 1970 and 1980, 300 songs, probably pop songs.
Okay, that's amazing, because that's my story too. But I started writing when I was.
But you were very young when you started. Now writing. I didn't. I did start writing until later.
Right. Now here you are. You're singing, you're dancing, and in those days we did want to have a record deal. You're right, and you had to have your own. But you and I did something very similar. Let's talk about our jingle career. Didn't we sing on jingles? And isn't it partially because of Barry Manilow?
That's right. And Barry was, getting these jobs. He would pull me in on occasion. And then I worked with another writer for years. Actually, she was my partner in our own jingle company, Dorothea Joyce. And Dorothea and I wrote a lot of spots together for Doritos and Time Magazine and Beach Nut Baby Food and, many, many different clients. And so,
now, when you do, thank you, Martha. That's my mother. When you do jingles first, and then you become a jingle writer, you're kind of the competition. Sing on your own stuff more than you sing on other people's stuff, right? Are you holding your phone up?
That's right.
Is there a way you don't have to hold your phone up? You go.
It's balanced, but it's tricky. If I laugh, it might fall over
it's
again.
Tricky.
Okay, This is going to be the most technically
Okay,
unsavvy
well-
show you've had so far. Savvy
Okay, well-
show you've had so far. Between you and me, we're both like.
But see, that's showbiz.
I know. Oh God.
Well, the funny thing is, I love when things like this. Thank
Yeah.
you, Mom. Because I love when things like this happen, because it's like it shows the show must
It
go on.
does.
We got to go
It
on.
does.
That's what we learned. That's what we learned from theater. I'm going to jump ahead to a incredibly successful show that you wrote called "Funny, You Don't Look Like a Grandmother."
Right.
Can you tell us what prompted you to write that, and tell us what the show is about? While you do that, I'm going to change Wi-Fi settings on my phone.
All right. So through the jingle business, I knew Lois Wise, who ran a company called Wise Advertising. And Wise Advertising was actually originated in Cleveland, Ohio. And she opened a New York office because Smucker's, that was their number one client, wanted a New York presence. And so she opened a small office in New York, and I met and knew Lois. And she had written a book called Funny, You Don't Look Like a Grandmother, that became a number one New York Times bestseller. And we had lunch one day, and she's, talking about the book. And I said, Lois, I think this could be a musical. And she said, okay, let's do it. And that was it. Freddie Gershon put me together with Robert Waldman, and the composer who had written, oh my God, actually a fairly substantial Broadway hit with this show with Alfred Ury. It'll come to me in a minute. Anyway, Bob and I wrote the score together, and we closed the piano. We wrote it in about 4 months, and closed the piano, looked at each other, and said, this is a lot of fun. It's pretty good. And then about 3 months later, there was a slot, an opening for a show at the Haynes Center in
Where's the Haynes Center?
It's a beautiful theater complex in North Carolina.
Right. I think that's right. I'm going to look that up while you're talking.
It's not Greenville. It's
Is it Asheville?
No, it's not Asheville. It's where Wake Forest is. Winston-Salem, North Carolina.
Winston-Salem, right.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, because it's the Haynes, it's all the Haynes money that put the money behind that theater. So we did the show there with an incredible cast.
Well, it was like
Prowse,
Joanna Gleason or somebody.
No, Juliette Prowse. Nancy
Juliette
Dussault,
Prowse.
Karen Morrow, and Marilyn Cooper, the late Marilyn Cooper, were the four
Marilyn
grandmothers.
Cooper. And they're just grandmothers
so
singing. This is before Menopause, the musical.
Yes. It's a musical about hip, with it grandmothers. And Lois's book, which is a sort of incredible staple of Crown Publishing, comes out every year, with a new edition for Mother's Day or for Valentine's Day. I mean, it's just a charming, wonderful book.
Okay.
And the musical, I hope, is charming and wonderful too.
It is. And it's been
played all over the country.
Can you tell us how many years it's been playing all over the country?
Well, we wrote it in 94. So since then, and then actually we had a production that went up in Los Angeles in 2000 that ran for a year and a half. And after that production, it got signed by Samuel French, which is now Concord, and they represent the show, and it gets done all over the place.
You see, that's people.
Yeah.
Thank you, Charlotte. People don't know. They think Broadway or off Broadway, but they don't understand that you make money in regional theater when you write shows.
That's right. Stock and amateur productions.
Because people can go on a website like Concord Theatricals, which used to be Sam French, and they're saying, we're looking for a show that's about any grandmother shows. They find them.
Right.
And they get, so that's the advantage of getting published, which is accolade for you, Sheila. It's fantastic. Thank you, Deanna. Okay. I need to jump to Bella Tombstone. Now, Tombstone, Arizona is a place I didn't even know about until Sheila wrote this piece. And I went and I saw a reading of this piece. And she just recently, this is also another thing people should know, Sheila. We write things, and they don't get produced or have for years. Theater, you really have to be passionate. Now tell them about what the Belle of Tombstone is about.
Well, first, it's loosely based on a diary that was put together by a guy named Glenn Boyer called I Married Wyatt Earp. And it's about the third wife of Wyatt Earp, who was a Jewish girl from Brooklyn, a singer-dancer. Her name was Josephine Sarah Marcus. And she ran away from home, her very well-to-do Jewish family in San Francisco. Is this sounding like anyone we know, Deborah? And wanted the gypsy life. She joined a traveling stagecoach company of HMS Pinafore and ended up in Tombstone and met and fell in love with Wyatt Earp.
Can you believe this?
And became his common-law wife for 45 years.
Okay.
And
does anybody know about a Jew that married Wyatt Earp?
The biggest Shagus in the West, right?
So that's Tombstone, Arizona. Now, I want to play a song, if it's okay with you, from that show.
Oh.
Yes. And I know playing songs on this is a little strange because we're sitting here. But if you don't mind me commenting, Sheila wrote the most beautiful lyrics to this, and the music was written by Michelle Browerman, correct? Am I right about that?
You're right.
Can you set the song up for us, and then I'll play it?
Okay. Well, I just told you basically that Josephine Sarah Marcus, this 18-year-old girl, was feeling completely shut in and couldn't breathe in this life in San Francisco. And so she just cannot wait to get the hell out of there.
All right.
And so this is what she sings.
And what's it called?
It's called Nothing Like the Girls Back Home.
Nothing Like the Girls. Here we go.
Can I sit around the house and do embroidery day in, day out until I'm 83? Is this the life I want to where I want to be? No, I'm nothing like the girls at home.
Woo! I have to comment, it's so good.
Could I spend hours welcoming my friends to tea, baking little cakes for all my company, stuck at a piano playing G? No, I'm nothing like the girls at home. I'm tired of being someone that I can never be. I want to find the person that's buried inside me. I can't go on pretending I'm somewhere I belong. Maybe in the right place I won't feel so wrong.
What a voice.
I invest my time in babies 3 or 4. If I stay here at home, that's what I'll have for sure. Pregnant, fat, and tired and bored, right to my core. I lust for the freedom to roam, 'cause I'm nothing like the girls, nothing like the girls at home.
Listen to this ending. You're gonna die.
I've always had this burning. It's deep inside of me. The fire of adventure is flaming to break free. It's driving me to find out what life could have in store. This hunger's like a calling to get out and explore. I can't go back to living like I did before. Something in my spirit says there's so much more, and that'll be the life that I am headed for. I can't watch my dreams turn to foam. No, I'm nothing like the girls, nothing like the girls, nothing like the girls back home.
Holy shit! What is going on?
That performance is so extraordinary too. That's Naisha Thomas.
Who is it?
Naisha Thomas. She starred in the film of the last 5 years that was just made.
God.
She is
I'm
just
nothing
so
like-
incredible.
I mean,
Really incredible.
And you get it from, I mean, I said to myself, what's going to happen if I play a 3-minute song, but it's like, it pops through the whole thing. Like,
I know.
It's
She just
insane.
did a fabulous job.
I'm nothing
Really.
like the girls. How did you, I love your lyric in there. I could just sit at home and do babies 3 and 4.
Right. If I stayed there at home, that's what I'd have for sure.
That's what I'd get for sure.
Yeah,
If I did babies 3 and 4. And there's another lyric that I love about minuet in G. What's that lyric?
Stuck at a piano playing minuet in
in
G.
G.
I mean, that was my nightmare too, that would happen to me. That, you know, my father would say to me, "Oh, Sheila, play us a little something," you know, and I'd be there in, you know, the suburbs of Chicago entertaining my parents' friends.
Okay, okay. So first of all, everybody, thank you for loving it as much as I do, because that song, as a writer, and by the way, I got to give Michelle Browerman credit, who also did the arrangement. Is that correct? Of all that,
she did the arrangement, and then Bruce Coughlin actually did the orchestration.
Okay, Bruce Coughlin and Michelle Browerman. Can we just say, if you ever see this, that was unbelievable. Those 2 lower key changes. We're going to talk music for a minute. To go down, to go up.
Yes.
Is just such a beautiful, beautiful choice in that. I just want to say, thank you. When I heard that song the first time, I was like, oh my God. I mean, I don't get to, my mother knows. I don't play songs over and over again of somebody else's. I could listen to that over and over again. That is a mind-blowing performance, and congratulations. So are there plans for Belle of Tombstone, or is it?
Well, we hope so. We just did a small residency at the Phoenix Theater Company at the end of May, and it was part of their new play festival. And the audience response was wonderful to the show, and I'm hoping that they'll consider doing a full production there, and hoping that, you know, we'll get the show up in other places. I mean, we had a very lovely off-Broadway production in 2011 with Prospect Theater Company and New York Theater Barn. They did a co-production of the show there, and that was, you know, a nice showcase production. But it wasn't, you know, it was a small stage, and we had a wonderful cast, but it wasn't really this version and the most up-to-date script, and we've worked hard to get it where it is now. So even though we had that off-Broadway production, we still kept working and reworking it.
That's what we do. Now, listen, everybody. This is what Sheila does. She's so amazing. We're in tune with each other. She segues by herself into my next question. So now let's talk about New York Theater Barn, because it truly is one of the great incubators for new musicals. Yes. And you are in charge of finding the most amazing person to run it, who is a friend of mine.
I wasn't in charge. I mean, this kid met me when he was at the Hart School. He was a senior at the Hart School, and we were doing a developmental production of this show, I Married Wyatt Earp, at Hart. And he came up to me and he said, "I am in love with this show. I'm going to produce it on Broadway someday." And I thought to myself, yeah, sure, honey, sure you are. But he graduates, he comes to New York, he calls me up, he says, "I'm going to start this theater company and I want you to help me run it." And I, of course, had never run a theater company. I'd been involved with the League of Professional Theater Women, and I'd been involved.
You were the president.
Yes, I was. But, you know, I hadn't ever really run a theater company. That's a whole other different thing. And so I became the president of the board, and now I'm president emeritus because the company is 15 years old. You can't be president of a board forever. But you have to have new blood, and you have to keep, you know, changing. But I'm always involved with the company daily. I mean, you know, Joe and I are constantly in touch.
Oh, his name is Joe Barros. We should say.
Joe Barros. Yes, we should say, because he's just so brilliant, and we are so lucky.
Now, around this time when Sheila was on the League of Professional Started Interrupt Theater Women, I was running for the board. I was going to be on the board. And Sheila came running up to me and she said, "Deborah, I really want to, I have something in mind I would love to write with you." You know, and so we ended up writing together. Not only did we end up writing together, but we got the rights for Edna Ferber's short stories to turn a couple of them into musicals. So we now have this incredible thing called I Love Ferber. If anyone knows who Edna Ferber is, and if you don't, look it up. She was this amazing writer, and she wrote some of these things got turned into movies and shows like Showboat. She wrote the movie Giant, if anybody's seen that. Thank you. And so me and Sheila and I don't know what the right grammar is. What's the right grammar? Anyway, Sheila knew her great niece.
Yes.
And her great niece, Julie, gave us the estate rights to turn 2 of the short stories into a musical. So that's one of the things that we have done together. And maybe we'll play one of those songs of ours.
Oh, that'd be great.
I don't know which one to play, though. Which one?
I know. I don't know either. All right.
But before we do that, I want to talk about, because we have not talked about family life real quick. Okay. Now, so during the time of the Broadway, you know, your husband often tells me she was a showgirl. He always says she was a showgirl. Now, let's just say Sheila marries a neurologist. Can you tell us a little bit about the great Elliot Gross, please?
I met Elliot on a blind date through a theatrical photographer, Bob Blickman, who had done my headshots. And so we go on this date, and
does he wait for you at the stage door? Does he wait for you at the stage?
He did. Yeah, sure, of course, because by then we were dating, and then I get into Applause, and of course Applause goes out on the road for 11 weeks.
Hello, Applause, everybody. Lauren Bacall.
Right. So he came and he visited in Detroit, and he came and he visited, I think, in Baltimore too. And then we opened on Broadway, and he would, meet me afterward. But it was hard because he was, at that time, he was really full-time scientist doing research on learning. And he would get up at 6 o'clock in the morning, to go to the lab where he had these monkeys that he was working on this learning thing that he was developing. And, I was getting home at midnight. I mean, it was crazy. It was a crazy time. But we got married in 1970. We had 2 children. Actually, I was pregnant with Vicky when I was doing Guys and Dolls at the Goodman Theater in Chicago. The very pregnant Sarah Brown. That's the,
oh my God,
you were doing virgin.
You did Sarah Brown pregnant.
Pregnant, yes. And they kept letting out my costume. And then they wanted to extend the run. I said, you can't extend the run because I can't extend this costume anymore.
That's great. Oh my God. Okay, we forgot about Applause. That's amazing you did Applause. How many Broadway shows were you actually a part of? Do you remember?
I was in 4 Broadway shows, 1 national tour. I did actually the Rothschilds, and then I did the 10th anniversary revival of Company. So that's maybe a 5th. But
wait, what were the other 4?
That was a brilliant company. So I was in a show called Boccaccio.
Oh, Boccaccio, right.
Boccaccio. And then I was in a very interesting show called The Selling of the President, which was based on the book, Joe McGinnis's book. And it was so ahead of its time. Bob James, who wrote the theme song for Taxi, Bob James, the jazz guy, and Jack O'Brien. That was Jack's really first show. Broadway
That's a director for those of you that know.
No, but it was before he became a director. He was the lyricist and book writer.
Oh my God.
The Selling of the President.
Okay, I know some of you don't know who this is, but you got to look these names up. And by the way, I have Sheila Rae going across the crawl here. If you want to
see that, but you know what, Deborah? That's not my website.
Oh no, what is it?
.net, not .com.
Oh, geez.
.net.
I'm going to change that right now. There we go. SheilaRae.net.
That's me.
So if anybody wants to go on there, I was thinking, Sheila, let's talk about all the lifetime achievement and all the awards. And you joked with me earlier. You said when they start giving you lifetime achievement awards, you have to question how old you are.
That's right. Still one step in the grave.
But you're so vibrant and alive, and you've been working for so long. Who honored you? I know you got New York Theater. The
New York
League
Theater
of
Barn gave me a Lifetime Achievement Award
Yes.
2 years ago, which was really extraordinary.
Right.
It was just an incredible evening.
And I was thinking of playing our song because they played our song at that
Oh,
award.
yes.
Yeah, and we'll talk about that in a minute. But go ahead, tell us about the other awards you got.
I got an award from the League of Professional Theater Women for my I don't know what all of the work, I guess, that I've done for that organization, as well as my commitment to the theater. So it's a sort of a double whammy award. And then I got an award from the New York Women's Agenda called the Galaxy Award, which is also for my contribution to the theater and for women's work in the theater and for championing women in the theater.
Okay, now you've segued again. She's done my segue. So we're going to talk about this. In 2020, we all know, was a very important election. And Sheila and I, we were asked to write a song because it was the 100th anniversary of women getting the right to vote.
Right.
Was that it? That was
Yes.
it, right?
Yes.
So we set out to write this song. We wrote an amazing song. And my sister Janice put together a video.
Who is so brilliant.
Yes.
Let's just say how brilliant Janice is for a second
If
here.
I can try to get this, I will try to show this video and play it at the same time.
Wow.
Let's see if it works. Here is our song, Turn It All Around.
Oh, it sounds great.
Hand in hand together when 2020's here. Get out and vote no matter what. Our message will be clear. You can make a difference. I give you my word. If you want to make a change and have your voice be heard, then let's turn it all around. Go out and do your part. You have the power to break through and do what's in your heart. Let's turn it all around and make the madness end. Turn it all around, my friend.
What is America to me?
This is for the future. Our children are at stake. Give them every chance we can. Let's not make a mistake. Look to 2020 to right all that is wrong. If our sisterhood is strong, the world will come along. So let's turn it all around. Go out and do your part. You have the power to break through and do what's in your heart. Let's turn it all
my God.
Gee, I haven't listened to that in a while. It's so good, Deborah.
That literally,
I love it.
holy hell.
It's just so good.
Wow.
We have to just do some adjustments and put it out for the midterms.
We got to put it out. We
Yes.
got to vote again. Oh
yeah,
my
we gotta
God.
vote again. I know, it's very, very important. We got just a little tweakage to do to make that work.
And we had the abortion thing up there. We had,
Yes,
did you see? We
it's
had
all-
everything
I
in there.
know.
Oh my God, you guys, thank you for clapping. We got this incredible person to sing Wanu Ogofawara. And she was in the Donna Summer musical that I was in. Ogonforwara. There we go. Ogonforwara. There we go. All right, look, we got 15 minutes. Does anybody want to come up? I always ask at the end if anybody would like to come up and talk to Sheila or anybody. Oh, I see Deanna asked at way back when we were losing power.
I was really just trying to, like, I didn't know if she had the ability to bring somebody up just so I could tell her, don't leave. I know she's going to be back on.
Okay.
Don't leave.
So,
I didn't
Deanna,
have
what did
that,
you want?
Deanna.
Wait, what did you say, Sheila? I'm sorry.
I didn't have that ability. I couldn't.
Yeah.
I had no controls here.
I figured that. So I guess one of my questions for you, Sheila, because Deborah started really young. You said you started later, and you have this big. I can't come on camera. I got a house full of kids. I'm sorry. But you had later. Yours kind of started later. So when exactly did you start with your writing and all of that you got all of this accomplished?
I started, I mean, I've been a performer for a long, long time and been in the business, since I was 9 years old. So, I came to my writing later, when I was already established as a performer, but I was lucky in that the first few songs that I wrote, I got a record deal with RCA, with Real Records, which was a subsidiary of RCA, and became a recording artist rather quickly. But I was established as a performer and a singer, so this it was just nice that I was able to write these songs and get them recorded. And
Can we
I've
talk?
been writing ever since.
Deanna's question's really good because I want to know the age that you started that at. I want people to understand.
I was about 22.
Wow.
22.
That's great. Deanna, that's a really good question because it wasn't a pivot for her. It was just her showing another side of herself.
Right, like an add-on. And then the other question too is you guys talked about regional theater. So when you talk about that, is that the same as community theater? I'm not sure I understand this.
Yes and no.
What is regional theater?
Great
as far as
question.
being able to, because my daughter, my son, and my niece are all very tied up into this, and I would like to give them direction as to next steps to take. And so
Sure.
explain regional theater to me.
Regional theater is just a sort of an umbrella term that means any theaters outside of New York or Los Angeles. Any theaters in the United States hinterlands are considered regional theaters. Now, there are professional regional companies and there are non-professional regional companies. Community theaters fall into non-professional regional companies. And all of that is a great training ground and place to develop your craft and work all the time until you get a professional gig, and then you become a professional. And equity has changed, just recently changed actually the criteria for what is required to become a professional actor now. But you have to do so many productions on a professional level before you can be considered a professional actor.
Gotcha. So, but
the more they work, the better. Let them just do whatever.
There was a process.
Let them sing their hearts out in school. Let them do every school production. Let them be in the chorus. Let them, all of that stuff. That's really, really important. That's the training ground. You see these kids on American Idol? They didn't come from nowhere. They've been doing it since they're 5. Trust me.
No, right. No, I get that. So have they. So I just didn't know, directing them to the next steps. Like my daughter is 29. I think she's 29. That's terrible. She's 29. So she wants to direct and she wants to do theater. She had kids young, so she couldn't pursue it the way she wanted to. But she still has that desire to be able to pursue it as her kids get more independent. So, and then my niece, she's bringing my niece along with her. So, it's just, So I just direction. That's good. Thank you.
And I just want to add that I heard Deanna's daughter, I believe, or was it?
It was my niece, I think.
Your niece, very, very talented. Very talented. And look who we have on the stage. Thank you, Deanna, so much for coming up. And thanks for trying to catch us with your net when I was having my
problem. I was so worried.
Thank
Martha
you.
Barsha, my incredible mother. Do you want to come to video, or would you like to just ask your question without video?
Hi, Martha. How are you? I miss you.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
We hear you. We hear you.
Well, I want to applaud your wonderful, wonderful life. And I want to say
Martha.
that you're the most relaxing person to be with. And not only are you a wonderful artist, you're a wonderful human being.
Oh, thank
and I
you,
almost
Martha.
had my chance. When the lights went out in Mayapack and Deborah couldn't get on, I was trying to be the interviewer. I was playing Rose in Gypsy. And I was excited. Here I was get a chance to be interview Sheila Rae. And I wanted to know about your mother. Was she a stage mother?
Not at all. But, I had really a very interesting family background because my father's family was extraordinarily musical. My grandfather was a cantor. My aunt, my father's oldest sister, was a concert pianist. And she made her stage debut with the Chicago Symphony at age 16. And then toured the world with Rosa Ruiz as her accompanist. She was a phenomenal. She ended up becoming a piano professor at UCLA, and she did the piano playing in Intermezzo, that movie with Ingrid Bergman.
Oh my God.
Yeah. I mean, she was really
You
something.
didn't tell me that. You never told me that.
Well, I'm telling you now.
Wow.
And my mother was also incredibly musical, and her father and her stepfather both were violinists and really incredibly musical. My mother was a beautiful singer, although she never sang. She just was our mother, although she was quite a mother. We all had to toe the line.
Now, Mom, that was an amazing question because you are my mother and you've always supported me. But you're right. You admitted to being a secret Mama Rose today. But not based on my own talent and drive. Mom always supported me. It wasn't like, I'm going to push you. I was pushing myself.
Right.
So, I want to ask you just a couple. Mommy, thank you. Do you want to ask anything else? Martha?
I never knew how to get on to see me. So I thank you again. It's a wonderful interview. I'm sorry your lights went out.
Me too.
I invited you to video if you wanted to come on and say hello. But anyway, if you get an invitation to video,
I didn't know how.
Okay. No, don't worry about it. Sheila, because I always end on time on these shows. Okay. So in the last 7 minutes, what I wanted to talk to you about, how can I ask this? I'm just going to ask it and you can tell me it's none of my business.
All right.
All these years, you took me to see Barry Manilow in the same theater that I'm now doing Tina.
Right.
And you have confided in me that you were Barry's beard for a long time. And that's because Barry Manilow was never out. I'm just doing this because we're all a family here. Right. And now he is out.
Right. Now he's married.
Now
he's
he's
married to his
married.
long-time companion. He's married almost as long as I am, and I'm married a long time.
Right.
With Gary, 45 years.
I want to tell you that for me, that is being a supporter of somebody in a way that showed up for a person
Barry,
that was
we were like brother and sister. You know,
Exactly.
we were just so close and loved each other so much. We still do.
I know.
And,
I
you
saw
know,
the love. I saw the
and,
love.
you know, we're friends. That's what friends are for.
That's what friends are for.
Exactly.
So, but I want to just say that at the end of this talk, because to support our community in that way, when it wasn't cool to be out when you were an entertainer, especially as big as he was and is still. And by the way, if anybody ever has a chance to see Barry Manilow live, you'll kind of freak out. All right.
He's so brilliantly talented.
He's brilliant.
Yeah.
And he's saying things. I mean, he hasn't, I mean, this is what I want the end of this talk to be about. Age is not a factor when you are a creator. I have admitted many times, I'm in my 60s. Sheila, can we say what you are?
Yeah.
Okay. Let's just say
older.
that Sheila.
I'm older.
Older. And look at us. I want people to understand, keep going. Don't give up. Don't look at age.
Exactly.
Really, all you're doing is adding experience. What would you say to everyone about that subject?
I would say that it's important to be able to reinvent yourself.
Yes.
And to keep going. And that it's really, you know, you can't, the essence of this business is the rejection business. So you have to be able to rise above it and say, screw you, I'm going to do my thing anyway. And that's it.
And that, everybody, is what I want to end on. And I would like you, Sheila Rae. I thank you so much for being my guest.
Oh,
my
thank
collaborator.
You, so much fun.
My collaborator, my friend.
I love you.
My
Thank
guest.
you.
And I just love you on so many levels. And I hope everybody here really, really loved this as much as I loved talking to her. And